Vegas is very interesting. It was a mainstay for me. First trip ever to Vegas after our 5th game of the season. First trip as a professional football player.
I was going to say, you had a very famous Vegas trip.
Which we will get to. We will get to a little bit later when we get into Ryan's story time about my draft experience. Rodney Harrison, my teammate with San Diego at the time, he was, of course, the All-Pro safety. We had just gotten beat by the Oakland Raiders in a incredibly, difficult game, right? We played poorly. They played poorly. Ton of punts. We had a chance. We get beat. We are now 2-3. I have lost my last 3 games after my 2-0 start. Rodney and I, he goes, let's go. Let's blow off some steam. Let's fly to Vegas. So we just jump on a quick flight. We go to Vegas.
PJ?
No. Okay. No. Either Southwest or America West at the time. I really think it was Southwest. I didn't know PJs were really available to me at the time. I didn't fully understand that. I figured it out later, and that cost me a lot of money. Worst investment ever is going on private jets wherever you go. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. Have somebody else pay for it, then go.
It's a ride.
We fly to Vegas, and he introduces me to his host. He has a host at the MGM Grand. Well, this host is there to give you whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You can ask for a marker, which is a credit line, essentially. They gave me $5,000, right? Ooh. So I have $5,000 in chips. That's a lot of money, right? A lot of money.
Love that.
And we start gambling, and we start winning everything. I turned $5,000 into $125,000 that night.
What?
Yes. There was this girl that was sitting there watching us play. She was so nervous because at one point in the night when we had won a lot, we had all like 6 spots playing at like $5,000 a hand.
Yeah, you did.
And just rolling. And so at the end of the night, right, we go cash out. They pay me in cash, but it's still wrapped up in like the cellophane, the blocks. It's a block of cash. $125,000.
Whoa.
Before 9/11, there's no like the security and everything like that.
Yeah, you could just take that on an airplane back then.
Yes. I will get to that in a moment.
Oh, God, I didn't mean to ruin it.
I'll get to that in a moment. We go to bed at we go out and have a good time. We get to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning. He says we got breakfast and we're going to go get massages Tuesday morning. We wake up, dun-a-dun, ESPN, right? Sports Center. The Chargers fire Kevin Gilbride, the head coach, my head coach for my rookie year.
Oh, goodness. 5
games in. So I don't know we're sitting there and I don't know what to think, and he's just, Rodney was like okay with it, I believe, because he didn't necessarily like Coach Gilbride as much as I did because he was an offensive-minded coach. But so now we're dealing with that. So now we go through the day and I don't know what to do and the media's reaching out and we go to get on the plane and I'm like, I brought a duffel bag pretty much of clothes. So we take this brick of cash and we put it in the duffel bag and just carry it on the plane. So it goes through the security thing. So the people are in the X-rays like, what is that?
What is that?
Is that like a block of marijuana? What is that? And, they stop it, pull it out, and they pull out this big old cellophane thing of $125,000 in cash.
Cha-ching.
Wow.
The world I lived in. And that money went into the safe in the house. I put it in the safe and it paid. Now that money is outstanding for the Vegas casino. They want it back, right? They know it's the bottom line of it. And so they keep reaching out saying, hey, come on over.
Come on back.
Come on back.
Hey.
We'll put you up here. That money sat in that safe. And for probably the next 5 years, it paid for my Vegas trips. I would just grab a stack and go. and there were nights where I had some bad nights losing, but I never actually went back into that brick of cash and it paid for 5 years of cash. Just sat there in the safe.
Man, that's good.
IRS, I don't know if you know about that. I don't know if that means anything. I don't even know. Yeah.
I think it's too late now.
Rodney and I did have an idea though. We were going to go to the Range Rover dealership and buy a blue and yellow one
and drive home
and put LV1 and LV2 on it. And I was just going to pay for it in cash. We didn't end up doing that, but we had a funny idea about that. So Vegas is very interesting, right? Went to a bunch of fights in Vegas, fight night, and the draft now is in Vegas. If you guys remember a few years ago, no one wanted even to be associated with Vegas. They didn't want to have any form of gambling around the NFL, even the fantasy side of it. No. And now we have a team in Vegas, right? The NFL draft is in Vegas. Everything that is the NFL, I think ESPN's put in a studio there with Caesar's Palace.
Yep.
For all the betting shows and things that are coming along with it. So, I mean, it's become very second nature. Now, tomorrow night, we get the NFL draft in Las Vegas. It should be a spectacle.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.